If you've been waiting for your shot at a big Florida tax deed deal, the kind I'm always talking about, where you flip it for $10,000 or more for profit, this might be it. Y'all, there's a 4.85 acre property going up for auction this Wednesday, July 2nd, in Escambia County. And honestly, this is exactly the type of deal I look for myself. It's got size, it's in a growing area, and if you know how to work the numbers, this could be one of those wins that changes everything. In this video, I'm gonna break down details of the auction, how to research it, and what to watch for. And if you're serious about stacking deals like this, y'all, stick around until the end, because I'm gonna show you how to get your hands on my personal master tax deed list, totally free. It's the same list that I use to find these properties, just like this, before they hit the radar. So let's jump in. Escambia's got something special this week. Howdy y'all, I'm Jameson, Tax Deed Dude. So this week we're going to be looking at Escambia County, okay? Escambia is one of my favorites personally in tax liens and deeds. Today we are just looking at the tax deeds because we just wrapped up the tax lien season, all right? So what you're going to see here is the Escambia County tax deed auction sale. This is the website that they use. It's at escambia.realtaxdeed.com. And here you can register, you can learn some information. We're going to click on the auction calendar and jump right into it. So this week, we are looking at July 2nd. So they started off with 90, guys. They started with 90 auctions and they were down to 31. And that means that all of those other ones either have been paid off, there was a court order, something happened, there was an issue with, you know, the glitch in the matrix, whatever. So we have only 31 left, all right? And of those 31, I have actually reduced it down to just a handful that I think are worth bidding on. So y'all, this is my master tax deed list. I come up with this every month and I look at it week by week because, you know, stuff gets redeemed so quickly. I usually don't look at a property auction, or excuse me, properties at an auction until the week before, to be completely honest. I don't even like to do it more than like a day or two before, just because so many get redeemed within the last 72 to 48 hours. So here I've kind of broken it down, and what we have upcoming this week in Escambia, I've kind of reduced it down to, we have 9 properties, okay? So these are all the 9 properties that are currently active as of Monday morning. The sale is going to be Wednesday morning, so we're about 48 hours out, just a little less than that. So I'm going to look at every single one of these because I have reduced the ones that I don't like. This was a lot more, and I've reduced it down to anything that has assessed value over $5,000. Remember guys, I don't like to take less than $10,000 per profit on each deal. So if you're in it to get those smaller deals, I do have that on my Master Tax Deed Auctions tab here. This is all of the auctions coming up. So anything that you want to see, again, this is the list that you guys can get for free. I'll show you how at the end of this video. It will give you everything that's coming up in Escambia. So we have, as of the making of this spreadsheet, was 36 properties. Okay, so you can see here, if you're looking for those smaller ones, maybe to do some seller financing, or you've just got a little bit of chump change to work with to begin, that's great. These are the ones you want to look at. For this video specifically though, I'm looking for the ones that I'm bidding on. So I'm kind of taking a chance at making this video. A couple of you might be bidding against me. That's fine. We're all in it together. There are plenty of auctions to go around, guys. Okay, so this Escambia is just one. This week is really slow because of the 4th of July holiday. Please think of veteran. Enjoy the time off with your family, your friends. Remember that pets don't like fireworks. And also, you know, veterans have PTSD. So please be cognizant of that this weekend. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into the fun stuff, y'all. You ready? So I'm just going to run this exactly like I would, and I'm just recording basically and telling you guys how I do it. So this is literally exactly how I do every single auction that I am going to bid on. I'm going to start from the top. I sorted by case number just because I like to match it against the case number here, just in case I need to see what's going and what's not. So I have my appraiser link. I'm just going to go up and start with the first one. I can see that they are all residential vacant land. So I would like to look at these actual land use, because sometimes you get a little golden nugget of like a commercial property or multifamily usage in there, but it looks like all of these are pretty much the same as far as use code goes, and also the flood zones are all the same. We want X. X is great. We don't want A. A is not good. 100% A is not good. If it's less than 100%, we'll take a look at it, right? But 100% A, that means it's in a complete flood zone. It's usually a flood plain where they dump water in, or it collects, whatever. These all look great. I'm not worried about the flood zones or even checking those. I do want to look at wetlands though, because wetlands are different than flood zones, okay? So just keep that in mind. That is part of our due diligence that we look through. So this one we're going to start off with and we are looking at 0.16 acres. They've assessed it at 12,500, and it is in Pensacola. So I've checked the flood zone, I've checked the acreage. Acreage looks good. It's worth enough. We do still have to run the comps. I can see it's a square property. It looks like probably like an infill lot, so to speak, which is where they have the subdivisions with the blocks and they fill in the houses, right? So we're going to look at the map first. And I do see we have a picture, which is interesting, guys. When there's an image, that usually means something was built there at some point. They don't take images of vacant land normally. So this is a good sign, especially if this is in an area that needs a septic or a well, which means there may be structure that was already built. This is also a great sign because there could be impact fees that were already paid, which is a great sign for us because we can sell it for a little bit more because of that. So a quick way to check is to actually look at the sales data and see if it's significant in value. So like if this said like 99,700, I would know that there once was a structure on there, possibly a house or a mobile home, but I do not see that here. So we can also check the valuations, and it looks like the only valuations we have are from the last 3 years. This does not look like anything that stands out, but we can go ahead and check our aerials later on. But let's just check the map here and make sure it looks good. I'm seeing houses on both sides and across the street. This is great. We know it's not in a flood zone. This is ideal, stereotypical Florida neighborhood, right, guys? And I can actually see almost an outline of a house, like a foundation, and a driveway right here. So this is 99% positive there was a house here at one point, okay? You can even see kind of like the bushes or whatever. I don't know what that is. Smiley face on the house. We love houses with smiley faces. So here, guys, you can see all of these infill lots are filled in, right? This is a great sign. This means there is low inventory for vacant land in this subdivision. So this looks like it's probably a pretty popular subdivision. Pensacola is a pretty good city. It's kind of up and coming more so lately. It kind of went down in the dumps a few years ago, but it is definitely an up and coming city, and there's really good parts of Pensacola. There's also kind of bad parts of Pensacola, so just make sure you know where you're looking at, but this looks really good to me. We have a golf course right across the way, so this is only like maybe a mile and a half to a golf course. Right near shopping centers. This is awesome. Anything you can get that's even close to like a Walmart is really good because obviously people need to shop, and that's normally when Walmarts open up is when there's growing subdivisions, right? So that's good for us. So with that said, now that we've kind of done an overview of, yes, we like this, yes, it's probably going to be worth it, I want to go back and get the address. And because this even has a number in the street address before it, that also indicates that there was something built here before. If it does not have a number, that usually means that utilities have not been attached to it at any point. So this is a good sign as well. So we'll go ahead and check this out just on Google Street View, right? Let's check it out. And we can see a little bit better of what the neighborhood looks like as well. This is all part of due diligence, guys. This is a great map. This is from May 2025, which was last month. This is interesting, very good one. We got our UPS guy. We got boarded up windows. These are hurricane fabric, guys, so don't let that fool you. That's not like a bad indication. That just means we're in Florida. All right. We do have kind of like a handy fix up here. This is a decent neighborhood, guys. Not brand new homes, but you know what? This is exactly the type of Florida neighborhood you're going to see. And I can see the grass is cut. That's always a good sign as well. People take care of their yards. Okay, even somebody's taking care of this yard. This was recently cut, and most likely this was the neighbor. I can even tell a little cheat sheet of seeing how high the neighbor's grass is versus our grass. So just a little tip for you there. And this is a really good indication right here. This little orange thing right there. All right, so guys, if you don't know what something is, another really cool trick. So I'm assuming this is probably the marking for the septic system or a well, okay? Because I can see it kind of has like a shadow where the hole is, okay? So I'm assuming that's probably where that is. But what you can do, which is really cool, is we can actually just take a screenshot of this, and we can go to Google, and Google has a really cool thing called Google Lens. And if you just go to the Google search bar, it's this little search by image here, okay, right next to the microphone. So now that we've screenshotted that image, we're gonna go ahead and drop it in here. Okay, and I'm gonna say, what is this orange thing? All right, and it's gonna give us an AI version of what it thinks it is, okay? It's gonna match some of the other things that it has. Dozens of graves. That's not good. I don't think it's a grave, guys. All right, let's go. Let's get past that. So the purpose of these markers is for surveying, construction, landscape. Yep. So utilities, basically. So this is probably a utility, like I just mentioned. If it's not if it's probably a septic or well. Okay. So we have a driveway, which is awesome. We do know that the impact fees are probably paid, which is great. So I am awesome with this one. I love this one. So let's go ahead and run some comps, guys. All right. So now that we've got all of our due diligence done, the comping phase is the next thing we're going to do. So this is pricing the property, which is probably the most intricate and the hardest that people tell me that they've found as far as vacant land goes, right? So if you have a house, it's easy. You can go to Zillow, you can get his estimate, you can go to Redfin, get his estimate. You can do the square footage per, whatever the price is on the other comps around the area. Vacant land, there's less comps. They're harder to price. There's different things like we just experienced. There was a house on it, so we have impact fees that go into that pricing, all that fun stuff. So what we're going to do is go ahead and go into Redfin first, and we're just going to see what's out there in this neighborhood. Going back to the property here, I'm going to grab the zip code, right? Because Redfin is best with the zip codes. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump on the zip code, and then I'm going to zoom out and try to find our property, or zoom in, either way, whatever we have to do. Just to find the property, and then we'll zoom out of that to see what is available. Okay, so we have Pensacola is kind of like a little peninsula, right? Pensacola. So we're going to try and find a property by matching it with the aerials that we have on Google. Okay, so I can tell there's a Whataburger of all things, but there's basically like a very distinguished highway, Highway 90 and Fairfield Drive here. So I can go ahead and make that my main point and bring this out. We can actually see Highway 90 here. Okay, so something very interesting. So this zip code runs a really long ways. Okay, so I was thinking it was somewhere inside of here. It is actually on the edge, right, guys? So we are on the edge right over here. So our property is right on Norwood Drive, about 6 lots in. And here's Norwood Drive right here, about 6 lots in. So our property's right about here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually remove the outline, and I'll make my own outline because we don't want to cut across highways that are major like this unless we don't have a lot of comps. So let's go ahead and check the comps first. I'm going to go to sold within the last 3 months first and see if we have enough to do it that way, because the market is ever changing. And make sure all my filters are off. I don't have any other filters besides those two. So you can see we only have 9 homes to choose from. And our property, if you remember, is right here, okay, right above this West Pensacola. So I don't even have that many. So let me go ahead and open it up to 1 year and just see if anything in the neighborhood has sold. And it has not, which is very interesting, guys. So this means there's either no inventory or nobody wants to live there. I'm thinking it's the first. I'm hoping it's the first. So let's just check on our for sale just for shoots and goggles before we jump into all the sold comps. And we can see, yes, there's nothing in this direct neighborhood, but we do have some here and there. We've got some for 85, and it looks like one on top of the other for 26. This is a very odd property in there. I don't see a lot of houses on this, so I don't know if this is going to be good. So let's just go ahead and do this. We're going to zoom out to see how many we can grab. I don't like that we would cross the highway, and we also have the water kind of around here, so some of the values could increase the closer you get to the water. So what we're going to do is kind of just make our own map at this point. Okay, so we're going to do sold within the last year, and you can see we really don't have a whole lot. So I think you know what, these ones up here might not be that bad because it's a very similar neighborhood. I can just tell it's kind of like probably the same similar development, so to speak. But I just want to make sure we're in the same city. Okay, yeah, we're still in Pensacola. It's just 32505 versus, I think it was 32506. Yeah, not too far, not too bad off. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and just draw our own kind of around here. I know that's waterfront. You can kind of run along this road. There's more waterfront here. And kind of up along this road. And you know what? I'm just going to go all the way around here. And if we don't like it, we don't have to take it. All right, so now we have a lot more, right? This is where we kind of want to zoom in, and we'll target these in just a second. But this is kind of how we would grab these comps just to begin with, and then we're going to narrow it down. All right, guys? So you might see this and think, guys, like, how am I going to comp all these properties, right? We have 46 homes. It's going to take forever. It's going to take hours to input this into a database, right, guys? No, I've got my own. I've created my own Excel sheet, and if you guys want this Excel sheet, I do provide it as part of my membership, and I will get to that at the end of the video. But just so you guys know, everything that you think that is going to take hours or days or whatever, it's not. Okay, it's not. I've got something for you. All right. So just let's settle down. Let's jump into here. We're going to go ahead and jump into my comping pricing tool, and we will get started. So this is the download. Okay, this is the download of all those 46 comps that we've got from Redfin. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just copy all of this, and I'm gonna go over to my Redfin Pro Comp Analyzer. This is something I've made. You're not gonna be able to find this anywhere else. I'm literally going to paste it into a column, and it automatically generates for me. Now you can see here my purchasing lot value. This is the price that this lot would be according to that specific comp. Okay, so this is empty because I have not entered my acreage in it. All right, so if we remember, the lot acreage is 0.16. Once I enter it in here, 0.16, that will generate how much this lot would be worth, okay, according to these comps. So let me zoom in and we'll kind of get into the nitty gritty of this. So from here, it's basically going to use every line as a comp, right? So I don't want to get into this too much, but this is where I'm going to kind of weed out any of the outliers, right? The outliers are the ones that are like so far out there, they're overpriced, they're underpriced, we know that they're not going to be a good fit, and so on and so forth. We also have all of the size, right, guys? We didn't filter by any size. So I'm going to take out anything that does not match kind of my size area. So ours is 0.16, this 0.02, 0.04, not even buildable, guys, really. So let's take those out, and I can see I've got a lot of others that are above, you know, 1 acre, half an acre, and depending on how many comps we have, I'm just going to take out everything from 0.4 and above right now. Okay, and I can see that I have 0.13 to 0.37. We have 21 comps. Okay, so that's pretty good. We like 21 comps. I also can see here that there's going to be a price per acre. These are going to be outliers. So we have one, obviously our second largest one is $190,000 price per acre, and the next one is 1.5 million. Obviously this is a house. Okay, so we're going to remove this. It was labeled incorrectly for whatever reason on Redfin, and we're good. Okay, so we have everything from 48,000 to 190,000. Okay, guys, so that's a pretty significant difference. If we look at it with our property, okay, our 0.16 property according to this comp right here. So one property sold for, it was a quarter of an acre, it sold for $12,000. Guys, that's really low. That means that our value of our property is going to be $7,680. That is not good. We do not like that. But we want to kind of match those and see where they are at. Again, the other one, the highest one is 0.13, 25,000, and that's making ours $30,000. So we're kind of at that tipping point, guys, where like our highest value could possibly be 30, maybe 35, because again, remember, there was a house on it. We have impact fees that don't need to be paid. Those are usually between $6,000 to $10,000. Citrus County is about $8,000 given this lot. So if you add that, it also may or may not have a septic or well. We would have to really dig into the due diligence, look at the the utility companies, possibly make some phone calls before then. I'm not liking this property just from these numbers, honestly. If you are wanting to do seller financing or hold this into your portfolio, you can, but at this point, I don't see bidding on this, guys. I really don't. Not for me. If you want to bid on it, go for it. It's a good property. Make sure you check the liens. Always check the liens before you bid on anything, guys, okay? But right now we're going to pass because we got so many other ones that are much better. So this one's going to be a negative for us. So we're going to move on to the next one. We have a bigger lot size, 1.43 acres. The assessed value is really low. I don't know why that is. So let's go ahead and check on that one. We're going to go to the appraiser's link. Okay, so we do have a mailing address. There's no situs address. So that means it's probably not built on before. It probably doesn't have any utilities. I can see the legal description is a little long, but it looks normal. I don't see any words or flags that stand out. It looks like it possibly is landlocked. Again, we have no photos, okay, so that was an R1 there. So here is probably why. This looks like it has a power line, utility line running through it. These are probably possibly underground power lines at this point. This little white line usually indicates a utility line. I can see that there is a way to reach the property because somebody has already done some donuts in the corner here. This is, oh, here we go. So we have homes, okay, we do not have a way to access this by road. This is probably another easement around here, this like little box thing. You'll see these tiny little ones. And the buildability of this, yes, you can put a house right here if you want, but man, why would you want to bid on this when you have, you know, hundreds of others each month to buy and use your money on? So I would pass on this, guys, especially with the value. There's something that is there that we're not seeing as far as the appraiser is seeing. So $7,000, not worth it, guys. So we're going to pass on that one. And you see how quickly it is to just run through these, okay? So don't get overwhelmed that you have all these. You can just run through them. Here's another one, 1 acre, assessed value 5,100. It doesn't seem right. Let's check out that one. Okay, we do have a street address. We do not have a street number. So again, this is probably going to be one that has not been built on. And it doesn't look like it may even have road access. Yeah, so there is, this looks like Hicks Street is going, Hicks Street is not a street, it is a line on a map. It does not look like anybody can drive on it. Yes, technically you have access, you have public access, but you're gonna have to go through this dude's property right here to get to your property, or this dude's property right here to get to their property, to your property through there. Do you wanna knock on this guy's door? Let me ask you that. Would you want to go and knock on this guy's door and say, hey, guess what? I need to build a road to my lot through your lot? Pass. Next. All right, next one is 0.09, kind of small, but we've got 12,000 as an assessed value almost. Interesting. So probably an infill lot. We do have a, we have a situs address, so that's great. So that could mean we have utilities. We don't have any images, but we do have a good legal description. Let's see our aerial. Can we just stop one moment and appreciate that the property appraiser puts his nickname, Gary Bubba Peters? I love it. So Gary Bubba Peters, salute, hats off to you, my friend. Thank you for doing a great job putting everything online so that we can bid on it. So here we have, actually, these are really nice houses, guys. This is looks like a really nice neighborhood. We are close to things. It looks like this may be a school or some sort of park. I'm really liking this one. This is a good infill lot. So, with that said, let's go ahead and check it out. I've already copied the address, and it's not gonna find it, so let's try this. North Balin Street, Pensacola. Okay, so we've already seen the aerial. Let's see the street view. Alright, so the street view doesn't look bad. It looks like there may have been some sort of maybe land clearing. I'm not sure where the lot lines are with this exactly. But now looking at this, it's a little sketch. You never know. Maybe they had a flood or something. Lots of cars. These look good. I like this house. This is a great little house. It's a little sketchy. Let's see, like I said, there's Pensacola. Pensacola has hit or miss places, right, guys? So there's a mobile home here. That could mean that ours is zoned also possibly for mobile homes, which could be a good thing. A lot of people in Florida would prefer to have a mobile home because it's cheaper and quicker to build or get driven into. I'll put it that way. So let's just do some comps on this, guys, all right? So I'm going to go back and grab my zip code. We're going to go back to Redfin. Again, we're going to start with our zip code and move out from there. And in the meantime, we can check out where we're at on the map here. Okay, 32501. We're right off of Palafox near Pensacola High. Okay, so we are right on the corner of Balin and Scott Street, so our property's right here. We're technically right about here. I think this is probably it, 2412. Yes, okay, so this is our property right here. We're gonna zoom out, and I would go ahead and remove the outline. So we already have one. Let's see, in the last year is 13,000 right here. And remember, our property is really small, guys. What was it? 0.09. That is not a lot to build on. But if I look across this Halifax Street, I see 45 and I see 27. Okay, so we kind of got a lot of stuff going on here. I've got some down for 15, some for 37, some for 50. So what I'm going to do is just do a quick thing so I don't have to run all these comps. I'm going to reduce the acreage down to 0.25. What is my acreage again? Lot size is 3936. Okay, so ours is even like this low. This is ridiculous. This is going to be really hard to sell, guys. Yep, and I can see, so this is the 13,000 here. I've got 21,000 here, 13,000 here. And let's just look at our competition. What's on the market right now at that price range. So there's a lot right here. I don't know why these are going for so much. This may be like a 4-lot deal, to be honest with you. New construction. I don't know why these are going. Obviously they're on the market still for a reason. There's one for 40,000. I don't like the sold comps on this, guys. You can look at these for sale all day long, but it really only matters if something has sold, and that's what is going to be compared to yours. So here's another one, 21,000. Beautiful lot. Beautiful lot, ready to build, same size as ours, even bigger than ours, and it went for 21,000. Okay, so this one's going to be a pass. So this one's down, and this is very similar, and it's not the same zip code, but it's in the same area. So let's just go ahead and check it out, but I don't think this one's going to be good either. Unless there's something seriously awesome about it, like it's waterfront, maybe a corner lot, but really it's not a huge deal. Again, the assessed value is double on this one, which piques my interest. So we do have a situs number. We don't have a photo. Let's launch our map. And I'm seeing this again. So this looks a lot like New Orleans to me, because they have these tiny little sliver houses, and you know, they just drop these, you know, elongated houses here. So I'm not happy with this. I'm not excited about this, and I don't want to bid on it if I'm not excited. So we're gonna pass. All right, next one is 0.68 acres. It's only 8,000 in assessed value. I don't know why. Let's look at it again. Molino. So it's probably a small town in Escambia County. So let's look at Molino. All right, this one we do have a situs number. We're looking good there. I do not have any images. Let's launch our map. All right, so first things first, this does not have direct access. There is a little bit of a road here. I don't know if that's an official road. It does go back to this person's property, so we would have access. This is probably an easement, a shared type of easement. If you had to go through the legal route of getting the easement for whatever reason, if this neighbor put up a gate, because they're the only ones that are back here, if they put up a gate right here and you had to go through some legal process to get access to that gate, you could. But again, who wants to do that, okay? Who wants to do that? Let's just check out the street view and see what is there, just to be sure. All right, and I'm gonna drop my little guy. Where are we at? This is not the right property, hold on. So actually it is the right property. So if you can see, so this is the appraiser site. This is Google, okay? So this was taken, it says map data 2025. This is probably a satellite image, much more recent than this one. We can look at our layers and see if there's specifically, yeah, we're at 2022 aerial. So really this, you gotta take this with a grain of salt, guys. So I love Google. Google is probably the most updated imagery you're gonna find. We can see a lot of overgrowth, and I don't even see that house on here. That was on the appraiser site. So either it's been bulldozed, covered up. That would be, looks like somebody built a proper, oh, hold on. We're on the curve. Actually, they're saying it's right here. The appraiser site is saying it's right here. So again, this is another due diligence issue. I don't even know if we want to go into this. We've got a few more properties to look at. Let's just see if we have this road or not. So here's our dirt road. And it looks like it's been used quite a lot, so that's a good sign. We do have electric poles here, so that's a good sign, running electric all the way back there. So I think this would be a good one. I just don't like the appraiser's amount. I don't even know if it's worth looking at, but let's just go ahead and check out on Redfin, that zip code. Now guys, remember, I reduced it by the acreage, so this is very important. You go back and you reset your filters when you're doing new comps. So I'm going to go back to my sold, and we're going to do a year because I know there's not a lot going on here. Yep, you can see this. And now I can reduce my filters to, there's probably big acreage amounts in here, so I'm going to reduce these down to less than 1 acres and more than, I'll just say 9,500. So we have one home, we have one comp. This is 3 lots, 0.56, sold for 52,000. Ours is a little bit more. And we'll see this one was last year, 0.96, sold for 40,000. Okay, so totally different values there. Let's see what's for sale and maybe go from there. All right, and this is all the way up on the Florida-Alabama line. So Molino is pretty far out there. We can see we have one that's very similar to ours, trying to be sold for 50,000. It's a little bit less. And it's been on Redfin for a year. We have another one for 19.5. This is half the size of ours, 19.5, so it would make ours about 40,000 in value, but this does not look very good. So guys, there's not a lot of competition here, meaning like there's not a lot of building, there's not a lot of infrastructure. Yes, we have all the utilities probably that we need or we can put in there, but I just don't like this property. It's not going to yield a high amount for me, at least. I think it's going to take a long time to sell, so I'm going to go ahead and pass on this one. All right, so that leaves us down. We're past the halfway point and we've got 3 left. Hopefully we're saving this best one for last. I don't like these other 2 already. They're both in Pensacola, so let's check those out and just at least give them a review. Okay, we do have a situs address, Hancock Lane. It looks like it's the same appraised amount the last 3 years. That's really strange. Again, we have one of those really just elongated infill lots. We already know that, you know, this is 0.34, that's not too bad, but we already know the Pensacola's that we've looked at here. We've got a little bit less, this is a little bit more, but again, it's not really an assessed value too much, and I'm gonna trust my instinct. I don't even wanna look at this one. It's not pretty, I don't get excited about it. Somebody's already built over the lot line. You're gonna have a legal nightmare with this, okay? He's even put his pool on your side. Maybe you can have, you know, pool days. You can reserve like Thursday and Monday for pool day, I don't know. Either way, I'm gonna pass. You can bid on it. And this next one is probably the same thing. We're actually in the same area, it's the same zip code. Let's just check it out, see if there's anything special. This one actually is less value. So the first one that we just did was 12,000, this one's 7,000. We've got a situs address, they all seem to have that. Yep, wonky infill lot. Let's check it out. And here we go, yep. So, you know, we have buildings around here and everything. If you were gonna seller finance this would be a great property to bid on, seller finance or hold in your portfolio, maybe a retirement account. This one we are passing on today. So that leads us to the last one. Hopefully this 4 acres, almost 5 acres, is gonna be our golden nugget and it doesn't get redeemed. Let's go ahead and check that one out. So we have here 2300 block Welcome Road. Well, thank you. And it is worth 56,000 according to the appraiser. This is looking really good, guys. I really like this already. It's a nice big lot. I can tell it has a road. It doesn't look like anything's been built. There's no images. I can check the legal description and it doesn't have anything that stands out. Beautiful, beautiful, guys. This is the golden nugget that we love. We love finding in these tax deeds. So this one is definitely nice because it has so much foliage. I just want to make sure, and you should anyways, check for wetlands. So let's go ahead and put on our wetlands map and make sure there's no wetlands, and there you go. So this is a perfect example of there's not a flood zone, okay? It's completely out of a flood zone, but there's wetlands, okay? So because the wetlands are all the way back here, I'm not worried about it. That's fine. It's actually kind of a good thing that nobody's going to be able to build right here. You know, not really a big problem, but you can see wetlands pop up more than you know. And it's interesting that there's wetlands here and they've done construction. So I don't know what they did to get out of that. It's oh, they made a pond. Okay. So this is beautiful. I love this. I can see that there's good houses around here. It's a little kind of tiny houses. This may be a mobile home right here, kind of a dilapidated mobile home. but there is a nice one next door, and a lot of farming area. Okay, farming is good. We love farming, agriculture. This looks great, guys. So let's go ahead and run the comps on this one. All right. First, let's check out the street view. So something interesting, I just dropped the address here, Citus address 2300 Block Welcome Road. It sent me to 2300 Welcome Road. So this is why you have to do your due diligence, folks. Okay, so this is 2300 Welcome Road is actually a house. Okay, let me take my layers off here and you can see the satellite. So our property that we are looking at from the appraiser is right here next to this house, which would be right about here. Okay, so this is our property. It sent us here. So if you were running boots on the ground and you hired somebody to go out there, you need to let them know, don't use this GPS, right? You want to go right here. Give them a pinpoint map, latitude, longitude, whatever. Because what happened is most likely this property that it's sending us to down here was one big parcel and it just split off. So it probably was all of these parcels right here and it just broke off, you know, as they sold it off and broke it down. So just a little tidbit there. So we're going to go here and see our street view and get a gathering of what it looks like from the ground. This is from February of 2025. You can see in the bottom right here. This is pretty typical. I don't see any development, so it doesn't look like there may be any utilities as far as septic, water, maybe city out here, but I doubt it. There's a fire hydrant, so that's good. And it looks like you've got, you know, some neighbors here with some farming cattle and things like that, so you could always rent out the property. Yep, looks like some goats, chickens, cows, random automobile material. So this is good. I really like this, guys. So let's go ahead and do the comps, all right? This property is in Cantonment. I have property up there, so I already know it's a kind of a small town, so I'm not going to worry about the zip code. I'm actually just going to go straight for the city. And I'm hoping we even have some comps that we can work with. So you can see, again, it borders the Florida-Alabama line. It's nowhere near the water, and it does run along the Highway 29 there. So this is a pretty big area. So let's go ahead and try to find our property within that area, just to make sure we're in the right direction. So we are actually on the east side of 29, and it looks like on this kind of main road, Keenet. So interesting. We are actually over here. So for whatever reason, we are going to remove this outline. For whatever reason, they dropped us off or only had a specific area. We're actually way up here. We weren't even close to where they put us. That's probably a subdivision within the city. So let's just go ahead and check it out with the zip code just to see where we're at. I like to do a lot of due diligence, especially if we're going to be bidding on this one, and see where the border is. Yeah, so there we go. So this is all this zip code. I think it was just a subdivision it pulled us into. Here we go, Cantonment. And our property is in this Quintet Acres area. Acres sound fun. That sounds prestigious. So here we have it, guys. So our property is right here, okay, on this little strip of road here. We can kind of match it with Google. So here it is right here, and here we are on Redfin right here. So we can see nothing is for sale inside of that one little area. I'm gonna go ahead and open this up to 1 year, and we're gonna go ahead and drop it to land. For whatever reason, it came off of land to single family. And just double check our filters. Remember our filters, we had the lot size on there. I think it just automatically reset itself. So let's check that out. Boom, we've got one for 99,000, guys. That looks really good. Looks really good to me. Oh, I hope this isn't a mobile. Doesn't have anything in the description. Again, this could be just like the other one where, you know, the actual address goes to a home. It may have been land that had been sold. So we really don't know, because this would make it $59,000 per acre. I think that's really high. I think this is probably a house that sold kind of off market or really quick, and they just took it down for whatever reason. So let's not take that. Let's just see if anything is for sale in our direct area, in our immediate neighborhood there in Quintet Acres. I'm gonna mess that up every day. So we have a couple across the street for 100,000 each, 2 units. This looks like a subdivision. Yeah, this is a subdivision, 0.33 acres. Wow. Okay, gated community, sidewalks. Obviously, these are not going to be good comps for us. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open this up and make it half an acre just to start. Ours is much larger than that, but we want to rule out all of those infill lots that aren't going to be comparable to ours. There we go. So now we have a few others. And again, we're opening up to the zip code. And we've got quite a few now. These are all for sale, so let's get back to sold. That's really what we care about. Okay, so I got quite a bit sold in the last year. I'm going to break it down again even further. I'm going to go all the way up to 1 acre. And that gives us 21. If I even go to 2 acres, that'll probably eliminate a lot of them. There we go. So we have 11 homes. Probably have more than that. We've got 140 over here. So let's go ahead and bring this into our comps pricing tool, and then we can look at it a little bit deeper. Okay, and I've downloaded that. Remember, I'm just going to copy all of it, and I have my Redfin ProComp Analyzer tool. I'm just going to delete everything that's in here so far. So much data. Love it. Love the data. All right, so we're going to go, and we've got it copied. We're going to paste it, and it automatically comes up. Remember, we have our lot size as well, so let's make sure we have the right lot size. There is 4.85, and I'll update our purchasing lot value here, and we can delete the rest. Okay, so now we can see our sizes are all over the place. We've got everything from 2 acres to 20 acres, and all of them are in the same zip code, which is good. Now our price per acre and our value are going to be from $57,000 to $204,000. That's about the same range I was expecting, to be completely honest. I think we can go ahead and take out this 20 because it's not going to be the same. And we'll leave the 10. 10 is pretty close to 4 or 5 acres. Now, the thing is, once you get over 2 acres, there's different acreage tiers, and I don't want to go into it too hard, but once you get over 2 acres, the price per acre starts going lower significantly. So really, it's kind of like, you know, after 1 acre, it goes 1 to 2 acres, and then like 2 to 5 acres, and then 5 to 10, and then 10 to 20, and then 20 to 50, and then 50 and up to 100. You get the point, right? So really, at this point, we have almost 5 acres, but not exactly. So that's why I'm keeping all of these above 2. And I'm even keeping this 10 right here because really we're around the same average in most of these. Now, we're between 57 and 204. That's still a significant difference, right, guys? So that's a very big range. We're at an average of 148. So what I want to do is go back to Redfin and look at the ones that are closest and more comparable. So we have this one for 140. And this one we're going to look for is, okay, this is 8.12, so it's averaging 83,000, but again, we're over the 5 acre mark right there. So this is on the low side. 83,000 would be a little bit on the low side of what I would do. I don't see that there's going to be any like photos or anything. Where are we at? Okay, so yeah, it's just a street view contract. Access across railroad tracks not officially approved. Yeah, so this is actually lower, right, guys? So this is not an ideal property. Ours is. So I would take that as kind of like a good sign. I've also got some that look like they're on the highway. These could be commercial lots, so you just want to be careful of those. I don't see anything in there for that. What I'm looking for is something that has a description or photos. So again, we have another one, doesn't have anything. Let's try the 270. Again, we don't have anything there. This is kind of silly at this point. So there's one that's 28.6. Obviously, guys, this is not the same. It's a little bit different, and it looks like it's got some power line easements there. Not even going to bother looking at that one. 90,000. This looks pretty good. This looks comparable. We have road access, and we do have a description over 2.5 acres. Perfect mobile home. Subdivide. Sell. This would be a good comparable, and it was just sold recently within the last few months. So I'm going to find that one now for 90,000. And I just want to highlight this one actually, and just so I know it's a little bit different, right? So this is a good comp. We're at 190. and I really like that one a lot. Not to say ours is going to sell for 190, but it is a good starting price because we can always go back when we get ours on the market and our realtor, or if we're selling it or whatever, we can go back to these comps and say, hey, look, you know, hey buyer, you came in at a really low offer. This one over here sold for this amount, and mine is much lower than that, right? Because we want to beat the market. So I like that one a lot. That's going to do really good for us. Let's see if this 85,000 has some. Okay, so this is cleared land. Okay, so they have a little bit of an upgrade to what our property is. There was a manufactured home on it that has been removed, so there are utilities in place. This is exactly what I was talking about before, guys. 2-year-old septic system, that's easily going to cost you between like $8,000 and $15,000 to get installed for your buyer. So if a new buyer comes in, they've got to clear the land, they've got to install a septic system, they've got to install a well, they've got to run power to the line, right? All that costs money. So this property is going to be a lot more than ours is, but let's go ahead and look at what it came in at. 85,000 for 202, again 204. Okay, so we're on the really high end at this point with this one. So what I want to do, we're definitely going to come in below this 190. All right, guys. With that, let me just mark on the 140 and see where that's at. Yeah, see 83,000. That's coming in pretty low. We're going to mark that yellow. And then what I'm doing is marking the ones that are closest to it, right? So when we go through the comps, and somebody says something, like the buyer comes up and says something, we know exactly which ones they're talking about. So again, this is the 10-acre one for 144, and we're gonna mark that yellow. All right, so I like these comps, guys. I think they're looking really good. I'm definitely gonna make 10,000 off of this if I can bid correctly. Let's just look at the for sale just for shoots and goggles. All right, guys, we have some good ones kind of close to our property. So I'm gonna look at these four here. All right, now going back to our comping tool, I'm going to add another 5 rows and copy my listings. Now I'm going to copy my formulas down, and for the for sale ones, I'm going to change it just so I know the difference here, okay? Let's get back to black. All right, so the for sale ones I have are 2.83, 2.44, and 10, okay? Big difference to all of these guys. Now, this is the one I'm worried about right here. This is saying that my property is worth $52,000. So this is 4 acres. Let's go ahead and check that one out. 4 acres, quiet location, and can't admit sellers have not had any wetland delineation performed, and they do not have a survey. That leads me to believe it's a red flag for wetlands, and also I can see here there's no road access. Okay, so this would not be on my radar for a good comp. So we're gonna go ahead and mark that one. You know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and, yeah, we'll just mark it red. So guys, this is our competition, right? These 2, 3 right here. Let's just go ahead and take this one out. I don't even like it being in there. Bad juju. Okay, so this is our competition right here. These 2 2s and a 10. So even with our competition, we're still coming in at 128,000, which is what our property would be worth according to this comp right here. Now, this is also off the same road that that other one was, so that makes me really curious to see if it's about, yeah, look, it's right next to it. Then there's a railroad track right here. This could not be a good property either, which means ours is increased even more. Okay, so they're doing owner financing, beautiful parcel, high and dry buildable land. So it does have a completed wetlands survey on file. So I guess they don't have a wetlands to worry about. Natural stream runs through it. Scenic appeal. Lots of mosquitoes. They forgot that part. Enjoy privacy, mature trees, freedom, no HOA. Okay, so it's conveniently accessed. Wetland surveys available, can be sent. Okay, so this one, they are trying really hard to sell this property, guys. Now, what I'm wondering is why is it not sold for this price? Because this is the second, this would be the lowest price other than that one that we just looked at. You can see there's railroads right here, so this may be the access point, is this railroad track right here. Like, why is there a road and tracks running to the railroad track? So somebody is probably illegally accessing this property. I don't know. We'd have to do some more digging, guys. I don't want to take up all your time on this. And before I get into bidding tomorrow, I'm going to do a little bit more deep dive because this is a lot of money that would be bid on. I want to make sure that all the prices are right. I'm ready to go to the market as soon as we bid and hopefully win it this week. One thing I'm not going to do is give you the amount that I am going to bid. I am hoping to get this one. If you are part of my membership and you are watching this, if you are one of my founding members for the Florida Tax Investors, go ahead and private message me and I will let you in on this. And just to let you know, because again, there are so many bids. Again, there are so many auctions out there. There's so many properties. There's, dozens more next week, right? Dozens, if not hundreds more next week. So this is not one property and super rare or anything like that, okay? Now, if I were going to tell you what to do, I would be using my smart bid calculator, which I'm going to use later. And this is something I do also give to my Florida Tax Investor members. So we are just starting this membership, guys. If you want to get in on it, just go to FloridaTaxInvestors.com. I've got my founding membership going on right now. We are going to launch to the public very, very, very soon. Okay, so if you want to get on it, lifetime price, it will never go up on you. The price will be going up very shortly after we launch to the public. So go ahead and jump in on that now. Everything that you see me do, I give to all my members. Okay, so we're like a little knit family. Okay, so we're building a very small, close-knit community to help each other grow and also do like joint ventures and financing deals with each other and things like that. Some of us are boots on the ground, some of us live out in Canada. All right, so if you are interested, just go ahead and check that out. Again, last but not least, if you guys want this list, this database that I've been showing you, it has every single auction coming up in the state of Florida every single month. I give this away, right? So this is all of the tax deeds that I have in here are going to be given away if you just go to FloridaTaxInvestors.com/free list, okay? That's going to send this out automatically every single month. Whether you're looking for single family, multifamily, this is not just vacant land. This literally is a raw list of every single property up for auction every month in Florida, okay? So the membership, we focus on high value vacant land. And that's what you see as far as this video is just looking for those golden nuggets where you can make at least $10,000 a deal and we can do it for minimum effort, okay? So that's what the membership is about. If you're interested in that, again, www.FloridaTaxInvestors.com. Again, you can always message me, info@FloridaTaxInvestors.com, and I reply to every single one, all right? I'll see you on the next one.